Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be taking a look at the GoPro Hero 9 Black and how to make it cinematic. Now I'm not talking about cinematic color grading. This is something that's kind of really done in post-production. What I am talking about is making the GoPro Hero 9 Black cinematic in camera, and there is one thing that you got to do to make it cinematic, and I'm going to explain it and show you exactly what to do next. The one thing that will make your GoPro Hero 9 Black footage look cinematic is something called motion blur. This involves the rule of thirds. I don't want to get involved in kind of the mathematics of this too much, because I know there's a lot of people out there just want to get a cinematic look and that motion blur without any kind of complicated stuff. So here's the thing. You are going to need to get the shutter speed, double your frame rate. So the frame rate I'm going to shoot with today is 5K 24, and then the shutter speed needs to be kind of double that, which is roughly 1/48 or 1/50, depending on your region. And that 1/48 or 1/50 is what allows you to get the motion blur. It's as simple as that. However, 1/48 or 1/50 is going to cause one big problem. There is way too much light going into the actual GoPro, which means everything is blown out, and while you can move about and kind of see a motion blur, you can't really, because it's all blown out. So what do? What you're going to have to do is get some shades, sunglasses, spectacles for your GoPro Hero 9 Black, and this is where ND filters for the GoPro Hero 9 Black come in. These are from Freewell, who, for full disclosure, sent me these and said, "Do you want to have a go at these?" So I said, absolutely, let's try them out. So these are going on this next. In this pack from Freewell, this is the standard day. It's a 4-pack. So what you have in here is an ND8, an ND16, and an ND32. And also got a polarizing filter as well. So essentially, the higher the number, the more light it's going to reduce into the actual GoPro itself, which is all well and good, but which one do you need to use? There's lots of apps on the App Store that will help you work it out. But essentially, for this video, I'm not going to get into the maths too much. I'm just going to tell you that 8, kind of early morning when the sun isn't completely up, then we're going to be looking at 16 for kind of midday, and if it's really bright, ND32. Let's start with the Freewell ND8 filter for the GoPro Hero 9 Black. So without getting kind of blowing people's minds or getting way too complicated, this is kind of ideal. This is early morning, the sun is barely coming up, and this is going to reduce the light down by 2 stops. Getting these on is very easy. Essentially, you're just going to twist off the existing GoPro lens, and then you're going to twist back on the ND filter, and that's it. You don't have to stack it on top of the existing GoPro lens. It just twists on, twists off, and you're good to go. When you are twisting it on, just make sure you kind of push it in, otherwise you're only going to get one side connected in. But other than that, it's easy. Just twist on, twist off. There's a Mr. Miyagi joke there, but that's too early. You can see the instant difference here. We've gone from completely being blown out and barely able to see anything on screen to now the amount of light coming into the camera has now dropped down a couple of stops, and because we've set the shutter at 1/48, we're not blowing anything out, and we have got that cinematic motion blur. Do you need a neutral density filter? Absolutely. You know what, these aren't going to break the bank. These are something that you should have in your bag, because you never know when you're going to be in a scenario where maybe it's just taking a photograph, or you just want to shoot something and you want that cinematic motion blur. The big thing about making cinematic stuff with GoPros, do these people have any beds to sleep in? The big thing about cinematic stuff, whether it's that motion blur that we've spoken about, or maybe in another video we'll look about, shut up, we look about doing a proper color grade, a kind of a cinematic color grade, which is a lot of time is orange and teal, which is a very popular look, then we'll do that. But the big thing that you really have to concentrate on when it comes to making GoPro Hero 9 Black cinematic videos is story. At the end of the day, most people couldn't care less about motion blur. They probably couldn't care less about what type of color grade is on, but what they do care about is the story. And remember, cinematic is all about story. Speaking of things that's all about absolutely nothing because I've got no segue, there's a video up here that you guys are absolutely gonna love when it comes to the GoPro Hero 9 Black, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you like this, please consider hitting the like button, commenting and subscribing. Don't stop fighting for yourself. Could I get like an exclusion zone here? No? Maybe?